in the effort, she found herself immersed in the all-too-familiar daydream where she was meant for more than this orphanage, that she belonged somewhere with someone. The smell of starch wrinkled her nose. She turned and caught the shadows forming a figure. "Yes, Mother Kemp?" she asked. "Are you almost done here?" Mother Kemp's voice was emotionless. In all her years here, Claire would never accuse her of being a mother figure. Sometimes, in her daydreams, Claire wondered what her mother was like. Was it because she was loving or cruel that she gave Claire up? Was she dead because no one would knowingly abandon a 5-year-old? "Just these last 2 rows," she replied. "Drop the basket off in the kitchen when you're finished, and then you need to head to the village to pick up the standing order from the bakery," Mother Kemp instructed. "Mary isn't feeling well." Claire took a step back, questions swirling in her brain. Before she could ask any of them, Mother Kemp had left. Claire finished the last 2 rows almost on autopilot. Mother Kemp never asked her to go to the village anymore. Before her 18th birthday, Claire had made infrequent trips to the village that usually resulted in the children of the coven teasing her or playing cruel tricks on the blind girl. Her 18th birthday had been one of the last times she had been in the village. It was the day of her coming-of-age ceremony with some other coven children. 18 was supposed to be a big year for witches, with their coming-of-age ceremony dictating their place in the coven. Witches and wizards with lots of magical power tended to get higher placement in the covens as they were more useful to the coven leaders. The best of them even applied to the academy outside the capital city Regis for a chance to learn from the greatest and maybe one day work for the council. Claire's coming-of-age ceremony, though, had been a humiliating event. The scrying bowl that the coven elders used to determine the power level of the young witches had barely rippled. The coven elder had announced that Claire had little to no magic and was going to be inconsequential to the success of the coven. Claire's cheeks still heated and her stomach clenched in knots as she thought about the jeers from her peers and the whispers of the adults of the coven. It was like declaring open season on Claire for the children of the coven. If someone was going to be inconsequential to the coven's success, then that made her fair game for all the taunts, teasing, and pranks the coven children could come up with. After a nasty prank a few years after her coming-of-age ceremony left Claire stranded in the woods for several hours, Mother Kemp stopped asking her to go to the village. She hadn't been to the village in nearly 3 years now, something that was apparently changing today. The nerves had Claire's hands shaking slightly as she resumed her task. Finally, at the end of the last row, Claire dusted off her skirt the best she could and then placed the basket of potatoes in the wooden chest outside the kitchen building. The scent of stew wafted out the door, and Claire decided to check and see if Mary needed anything else before Claire headed to the village, and put off going into the village a little while longer. "Mary?" Claire said from the open doorway, trying to find the cook in the room. "By the fireplace, child." Mary called all the children at the orphanage child while they were here. Claire often wondered if that helped Mary keep her distance. "I was about to head into the village for the bread like Mother Kemp asked, and wanted to check on you. Mother Kemp said you weren't feeling well?" Mary was an elderly hedge witch that was widowed and childless. She didn't live at the orphanage. Instead, she had a small cottage not far away, but she had been working at the orphanage as its cook for as long as Claire had been there. "I'm fine, child. My knee is just acting up. Wasn't going to make the walk to the bakery. Sit and eat a small bowl before you go." Claire walked 3 steps into the room and then held her hand out, finding the edge of one of the wooden chairs around the big table in the center of the room. She sat softly as Mary ladled some stew into a bowl and slid it across the table to Claire. Claire cupped the bowl with her hand.